This is the Limestone Lowdown. Hear the sound when you lie through the issues all around. From every corner, let's make it clear. The change we need is starting here.
Hi everybody, welcome to the latest episode of the Limestone Lowdown. Today we're going to talk about the City Council meeting right before Thanksgiving.
What's the date?
The date? I can't remember. I've messed it up a few times already. It's kind of crazy. But, you know, when you have kids and, you know, they get sick and they keep you up all night for several days in a row, you're just barely functioning. So, but here we go. We're going to do our best. So November 25th, 2024. Look at that.
I'm so glad that you were able to get it that time.
I know, right?
So this one, there wasn't a whole lot going on. Like Jared said, it was the week of Thanksgiving. So kids were out of school. I'm sure people were already traveling. So it was a relatively short agenda. But that doesn't mean that there's not thousands to be spent.
Thousands? How about millions?
Well, we don't spend millions on this particular one. It looks like they're buying a 2025 Chevy Silverado 2500 with utility body for the gas department. It is $62,702.26. Funding for this purchase will be from the gas services department from the FY25 capital fund. There's also another budget item of $36,326.50 for the purchase of a 24 Silverado pickup truck for the water services department. That didn't say which pot of money it's coming out of. Then there's an amount for a budget item of $95,691.12 for the purchase of two Chevy Silverado truck for the water services director. $34,000 for the purchase of two service bed packages for the water services department. Also $12,000 for the purchase of an 8.5 foot by 17 foot equipment trailer for water services department. So this just seems like the water services, like that was the one where they spent like $14 million or something. 12 million of it
That was the 1st of November, wasn't it?
That or the end of October, yeah. And then there's $170,865 for 4 particular insertion valves of the water distribution system. Let's see.
Well, when you got 10,000 additional people moving in, you got to spend something on infrastructure, right? But it seems there's a lot of money being spent, but it seems like they got a lot of money in the reserve fund too, spending all those millions.
So they don't ever slow down on spending the money. One of the big things that we are going to talk about is the food city that's coming to Athens. It's going to be on the west side of town, which is where we live.
I was going to say, our side of town's getting something? Wow.
Yeah, they rezoned. I think we talked about a couple meetings ago that they rezoned.
I believe we did.
That, and so...
That's what we figured out. A couple meetings before, there'll always be something rezoned. And, of course, there's a zoning board. So all this would have to go through the zoning board first. And then the city council also approves the rezoning of it via the recommendation of the zoning board. And then you wait a couple months, and then it's like, wham, bam, here you go. Here's what this rezoning was all about. I guess our only question is, you know, is there some inside baseball, some reading of the tea leaves? Because sometimes it seems like something is purchased right before something's rezoned. So it's almost like they know it's going to be rezoned before they buy it. So they're not going to buy it unless it's rezoned, you know, how they want. Where it would seem to me as Joe Citizen, if I bought a piece of property, I would have to buy the property first and then go try to get it rezoned, and I wouldn't necessarily know how that would go beforehand. But it seems like it always works out in a few people's favor. But I don't know.
Well, yeah, and it's like and I don't, y'all haven't heard this one yet, but there is a meeting that comes up after the first of the year, where it was kind of the same thing with the liquor and a liquor store. And when you start asking, so I've specifically asked the mayor and the city planner, like, what are the plans for this? Like, why are we rezoning this? Like, who's reached out to you? What are y'all's ideas for this? And it's crickets. I mean, at one of the city council meetings, the mayor just outright said, I'm not telling you that. So,
but he's real eager to talk to the media about it. But when you question him on it, he's like, what are you talking about?
Well,
and you're like, it was in the news.
Literally quoting the mayor on it. But then when you ask him about it, he won't tell you. But anyways, we are excited about the Food City that's coming to our side of town. Bill Ming is, I don't want to say the only, but he is definitely our largest commercial real estate developer in Athens. And he has brought a lot of businesses to the city. You'll hear his name a lot. From what we've heard before we started coming to city council is that he definitely gets his way on what he wants as far as development goes and zoning goes, and
it's on record. At least one fit was pitched, and it changed. The councilman's like, okay, I'm gonna change my vote, and let's just vote on it now.
Well, and then he's also getting like millions of dollars as an incentive for bringing these businesses here. I mean, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. Like, that could be my one deal for a lifetime, and I would never work again for what he got for one deal. But
let's go into the food line.
Yeah, then. The Food City.
Food City, food line, food something.
Y'all, and like, Jared literally cannot remember anything, and he's sitting over here repeating Food City, Food City, Food City, Food City, and he still said it wrong.
Well, line sounds better. It's like a ferocious.
Well, there is a food line.
Is there?
It's just, this is a different chain. Apparently, it has a really good salad bar. Is what I heard.
That's, you keep talking about that.
I know. It's
supposed to be better than Publix, and Publix is supposed to be near the top of the grocery store food chain. So
I've never had a salad from Publix.
No, what I mean as far as like quality, as far as all that stuff.
Well, one good thing is it does say that the project is expected to result in the creation of approximately 200 new jobs, involve an investment of approximately $19.5 million, and generate an annual taxable sale of approximately $23 million. So,
but get into the brass tacks. How much was the tax abatement? How much are they getting?
Oh, I can't remember that.
Oh, it was 2.4.
Was it 2.4
I just looked
million?
at it. It was 2.4 million.
Okay.
So they're getting 2.4 million in tax abatement.
There it is. Yep.
And then I don't think it's mentioned.
The city will consider the adoption of a resolution authorizing the city of Athens to enter into a project agreement with the company. Through the project agreement, the city will annually pay the company in arrears 100% of the proceeds from the city's sales tax actually received by the city from the project, net of certain costs, for a period of 10 years or until $2.4 million is paid by the city to the company, whichever comes first. The obligation of the city in this regard would be evidenced by the issuance of a warrant. The city's payment obligations would be conditioned upon the company's opening and continued operation of the project by certain dates as described.
But here's what I did not see. So we're doing over $1 million in infrastructure improvement for the new Publix.
Yeah.
But I did not see anything, a dollar amount on how much infrastructure they're going to put into this.
I know. I was just about to ask if you had seen how much.
Because that's strange, because you're having to do it, and it may not be as much because it's not on a main road like the new Publix is,
though.
But it's not like 72. You know what I mean? What I'm saying is there's going to have to be something, but maybe not to the level, because that was over $1 million for the new Publix.
Yeah, but you got to think Athens is cheap. They're not going to give any money, because here's the thing: for the $1 million, they're going and getting grants from 2 different places.
Yes.
So the city's not but Lucas Ferry is not. It's not a state highway. It's strictly an Athens. It's a city street. So whatever they give, it'll be 100% funded by the city.
Well, I guess we'll see. But I haven't seen anything on that anywhere for the infrastructure improvement.
Unless we hear Mark's theory where they go out and make a bunch of potholes and then they can go apply for some grants.
Correct. Yeah.
We've have been keeping up as long as Mark has, but we're just repeating what he has said.
You see where they've paved, and then you see where they've carved out something and repaved again. So, everything sounds far-fetched and crazy until you look at it and it's like, oh, well, I can see that now.
Yeah.
I guess it don't sound so crazy now after all.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, a lot of tax abatement there. Was there really anything else no,
that was really it. It was everybody was excited about the Food City, and by I mean everybody. I'm not talking about people that attended. I'm just talking about people in Athens. Going over just a couple more things. So, the IT director is authorized to enter into a contract with Ring Central for an amount not to exceed $105,000 for phone equipment, 1 year of licensing fees and professional services, including the implementation and configuration with the electric department's outage management system. The contract is for 36 months. And then the funds in support of this resolution are authorized to be expended from the city's allocation of the coronavirus state and local recovery funds, recurring annual charges for the use of this system, which is approximately $30,000. I just don't know how much more we got of this coronavirus.
I know we need to ask about that.
It's been a lot, and then they've been spending stuff from like 2015 fund too. Like what? Anyways.
Well, yeah, why is there still a 2015 fund? But
as we start getting ready to go over these podcasts and we start going over and diving into each item from City Council, it's like we're going back and looking, and there's always a why when you follow the money. And that coronavirus was given, for specific reasons. Is doing a something for IT. Was that part of coronavirus
I don't
spending?
think it was, but
or is it just so far removed that
probably nobody's checking up on it.
So there also is there was also a fireworks ordinance. The City Council would like to amend the ordinance, define the term firework by reference to the city's adopted fire code, ensure that the definition of firework does not include novelties such as party poppers, snappers, and glowworms, sparkling devices that detonate or explode but emit showers or sparks. Acknowledge that fireworks are permitted in limited situations where allowed by the city's adopted fire code. Confirm that the fireworks in violation of this ordinance may be confiscated. So,
still think it's crazy. We're worried about fire codes and worried about people shooting off fireworks, but you have a whole bunch of houses that haven't been inspected, or people doing their own, I'm just going to convert a garage to whatever and run their own electrical non-inspected, which, could go up like a Roman candle. But we're worried about fireworks.
Yeah, we can go into that, but there was something on here that was talking about that you couldn't even sell them. That one fireworks place is right.
Yeah, it's right outside in the city limit. No, you can't even sell them in the city limits.
Yeah, because it's right outside. It's right
Correct.
on the county. It's probably the first thing right outside.
It is. It basically is.
Because we can pretty much throw a rock from our house and hit it. A couple
Correct.
rocks, but nonetheless, it's super close. But yeah, so the biggest thing on this, for this meeting, like Jared had mentioned about how we can enforce all these ordinances within the city, but yet we don't want to inspect any houses. So there was several talking points on the meeting notes about city inspections. Let's see.
He read a prepared statement, didn't he?
At the last city council meeting, some folks complained about the conditions at a residential property at 1311 Wheeler Street. If they are here watching, I wanted to report back on that. I took their information and complaint and turned it over to our building inspecting department just as I would with any property, as I said they would. These kinds of things are all handled the same way. If there are any code issues out there, then the inspectors will work to get them addressed. And if not, then an inspector could initiate a citation or other enforcement action. The city doesn't generally comment on the details of an investigation, whether it is law enforcement or a code inspection, while it is ongoing. And the city doesn't comment on the details of these types of investigations unless it results in a citation or other enforcement action. If it does, then the city will comment on it. For example, folks who regularly attend our council meetings have seen our building code official address the city council about structures that are being condemned. Just a day or two after the complaint was made, the city received an open records request wanting copies of any inspection reports done and related documents on that inspection, as well as other inspections. I think our city does a good job of quickly responding to an open record request, usually quicker than the law requires, and we work to follow the law and Attorney General opinions about what and can't be disclosed. In this case, those open records requests were denied because the city doesn't give our copies of investigation files and reports related to building code complaints. That's the city's rule, as with investigation files and reports of our police department.
But tell them the best part, though. When you go to file a open records request, what's at the very bottom of that form?
Well, it says public records are, what, $75? So you have to pay...
No, not public records. It says building inspection reports are $75. Specifically.
Yeah.
So, begs the question of, why is that on there? Why is that on your open records request form if you're not going to do it? Which led to the biggest thing of, they decided to seek an Attorney General opinion about this, whether they had to give us these inspections or not. So, as we're talking, again, we're going back into the past to go forward. So, as of March, when we're doing this, March 25, they still haven't gotten anything back from this Attorney General opinion, which our understanding is generally only takes a couple weeks. Well, now we're at a couple months, and still nothing, which is just the craziest thing. But we got a nice little thing back. The city attorney typed us up a nice little letter and gave us 3 different instances of why they were not going to give it to us, and them seeking the Attorney General opinion as well. So now I think you have those ready.
So, yes. So, in response to Mayor Marks' email, like, they pay the city attorney. We've kept him busy for a while. But they sent us 3 Alabama Attorney General opinions in reference to how they're not going to give us public records. And so, just kind of an excerpt. It says, the 3 opinions that were cited in the email response below are not at all applicable to public records on a building code in the city of Athens, specifically for 205th Avenue and 1311 Wheeler Street. Also, please explain how the 3 Alabama Attorney General opinions are relative to withholding city business inspection reports. Each Alabama Attorney General opinion is described below, and again, none of which address building inspections in Athens, Alabama, so it's unclear why public information is being denied. The Alabama Attorney General opinion number 223-042 states, accordingly, because ORA requests must be reasonable specific, ADAI is not required to produce records in response to an ORA request that are unclear, overly broad, and overreaching. ADAI, however, should promptly respond to deficient ORA requests explaining the deficiency. ADA should work in good faith with the requesters to correct the deficiency so that the request may be efficiently processed. So even in that Alabama Attorney General opinion, it's not saying that you don't have to give them the information. It's basically telling them how to correct it, right?
And we were very specific. We wanted these 2 houses, but we didn't get anything back. Saying,
they just said that,
it's too vague. Yeah, they just said we're not going to do it.
Per these 3 Alabama Attorney General opinions, we're not giving it to you. It also states in the conclusion, professional service files of the Alabama Department of Agriculture and Industries are public records subject to disclosure under the Alabama Open Records Act. So, the second one is Alabama Attorney General opinion number 216-019 states, letters from the Alabama Department of Human Resources and the District Attorney's investigative files referring complaints about the mistreatment of students in church preschools to the District Attorney for investigation are not subject to disclosure under the Open Records Law. No portion of the letter is subject to disclosure. I'm assuming because these are minors, because this is talking about the mistreatment of students in church preschools. Also, so the third one is the Alabama Attorney General opinion number 210-50 states, the Secretary of State's written order in a complaint file removing a registrar is subject to disclosure under the Open Records Law. The open complaint file closed complaint file when no cause is found to proceed with removal, and internal recommendations as to how to proceed, but not constituting the final order, may be withheld from public inspection. It says if there is an Alabama Attorney General opinion number that is applicable to withholding inspection reports for the two addresses, please provide those. Or if there's going to be a filing with the Alabama Attorney General to deny the public records request, please provide tracking with the Alabama Attorney General's office and the status so that we can follow up on our own accord as the city's trust has been broken. Per the public records, it states reports and orders prepared by Housing Code Inspections are public records. AGO to Mayor Earl D. James under the date June 12th, 1969. If the city is under criminal investigation, please let me know, as this is a reason this information could be withheld. Records concerning the criminal investigation may be withheld.
So that was us responding to them.
To them, basically saying that they wouldn't give us this information. And then it also says in the meeting minutes how Mayor Marks had said that if there was any sort of investigation ongoing. So it's almost as though they're alluding to that and using that as an excuse, but they don't confirm. And obviously the two houses, one of them is the one that we talked about last time when Teresa and Willis came and spoke. And the city, even when they put in the meeting minutes, they were like, that basically somebody was there to talk about the conditions of the home, not that it was this sitting elected official's home.
And let's keep in mind, this is the one that they couldn't even use the bathroom in. It had open, raw sewage coming up in the backyard. So, nothing wrong with it.
And then also it's been reported to the health department.
And they said that he had 30 days to fix it, but he had to use a certified plumber. Yet magically, when we drove by there, I didn't see any soil disturbed or anything else like that.
He turned the water and power off.
Correct.
And there was a mom and her 3 kids, a Haitian mother and her 3 kids.
Lived in it another 2 weeks or so without
power
power and water.
Nowhere else to go.
And our understanding is it still doesn't have power or water on it because it's still vacant in present date. So we don't know if they just didn't fix it and just shut it off. That kind of solved the problem by shutting it off.
But then that brings into, this is a public nuisance that's
correct.
I don't want to say structurally unsound, but it is definitely.
Could we use the Shawnee? What was it they said? It's a
structurally unsound and a public nuisance.
Yeah, I think we could definitely say that.
Well, I mean, illegally evicting people is number one, and it's
we don't care about that.
So, to say that about these public inspection reports.
But wait a minute, to be illegally evicted, you
gotta have a lease.
I was going to say you have to have a lease, which we don't have. So what is that?
And then the mayor tried to say that those people were squatters, that they weren't.
The power and water was in their name, so that's why.
But if they're squatters, the power and water wouldn't be in their name. It just
a lot of double speak.
The mayor is just, goodness, he is such a jerk. He drives me crazy. But.
So, we're still waiting on our Attorney General opinion, and I've added it to my thing. I asked Mr. Black, what about our Attorney General opinion? He's like, Mr. Jared, still waiting on it. And I ask about it every time, and I've asked about it probably 10 times now.
Well, and I think the biggest thing is about these inspection reports is that we know whose houses they are. And remember, he did not have city business licenses with this. With his 80 his rental properties, the Haitians, he evicted previous tenants in order for this influx of Haitians that came in starting in May of 2024. So and when you start asking questions like these people, they don't speak English, who contacted you, then there's rumors that he's got people like. Some of his tenants are living rent-free in his houses, and they're busing people from Florida to here, and then they're living in these deplorable conditions. And like Jared had said, this is not how Americans live. It might be better than where they're from, and they came here from a better life, but this is no condition that any American should be living in. I mean, he is literally profiting off misfortune of others.
And how can you not say it's using your position to take advantage of people? You cannot say that, because I just have to believe that they wouldn't let me do that.
No. And this is another thing. In the midst of us doing all of this, we have said so many times, we thought it was going to be a whole lot harder to turn in somebody.
No, a whole lot easier.
Yeah, a whole lot easier to turn in somebody for doing something wrong.
Well, it really is easy to turn somebody in. It's really hard to get somebody to do something about it.
Well, nobody cares.
Yeah.
It's not easy to turn in. Everybody wants to kick the can to the next person. And you have got a sitting elected official who is allowed to, number one, keep their houses in these conditions. Number two, allow to have tenants in them. Number three, to not have city business licenses, so you're not paying the proper taxes to the very city that you represent.
And who knows what else.
And why. Who knows what else. Yeah.
We still haven't figured that out.
And these people are paying ridiculous amounts of money. I mean, nearly 50% more than what our house payment is. And, of course, we've got, a bigger house, more acreage, and we own it, versus them paying this, and it's in cash money. They're operating in cash. We've seen the receipts. So then that brings into question, is he even claiming that? I mean, he's probably bringing in thousands upon thousands of dollars. That's just the questionable business motives that he's got.
And again, we're not saying it's illegal. We're just saying it's very shady.
And then the fact that
it needs to be investigated.
And the fact that the city attorney is doubling down, saying that we don't have to give it to us. Give us these inspection reports. It just makes it look like
guys, we kind of know they don't exist. That's kind of what they're covering.
And so that's that's what it's just like, you're doubling down, and it makes you look even guilty. And so we just keep going. We keep, getting on their nerves. Public comments are still cut off on Facebook. Public comments on the YouTube videos are still cut off. I think Tim was the only one that got up and asked at this particular meeting about, and it was specifically about those inspection reports. So, yeah, so that's about all. This was a good segue into enjoying the Thanksgiving holiday break. So, until next time, thanks for listening.
And that's a wrap for this episode of Limestone Lowdown, where we break down the issues, keep you informed, and give you facts straight from the source. Remember, your voice matters. Your vote counts, and your community thrives when we stay engaged. Stay tuned, stay informed, and stay involved. Until next time, keep questioning, keep advocating, and keep shaping the future of the Limestone area. We'll see you on the next Limestone Lowdown.